Hello, my name is Dr. Aidan Elliott and this is the Complete Guide to Shakespeare. Welcome to this video on Shakespeare's The Tempest. In the next few minutes I'll use just 10 quotes from the play to help you get an understanding of the main themes. Our first quote is, "If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them." These words are spoken by Miranda, the 15-year-old daughter of a man called Prospero. She lives on a largely deserted island and has just witnessed a huge storm at sea, the wild waters. And that looks like it's going to be likely to sink a passing ship. She suspects that her father has used his magical powers, or his art, to create this storm, and she's asking him to stop or allay it. What she doesn't know, but is about to be told, is that they have been stranded on this island for the past 12 years because of the people in the ship. Prospero's younger brother, Antonio, was helped by Alonso, the King of Naples, to depose Prospero. Antonio then cast Prospero and Miranda adrift at sea to die, when Miranda was only 3 years old. Fortunately, they were washed up on this island. Now, Antonio, Alonso, their courtiers and servants fear being drowned because they think the ship is sinking. And when they reach the island, Prospero will have an opportunity to take his revenge. Our next quote is spoken in the second scene by Prospero. "Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough." At this point, Prospero is telling Miranda that the reason he was thrown from power was because he's devoted to learning. His library is the thing he values more than his dukedom. He seems to want to read rather than to lead. Yet it was this neglect of his everyday duties as a ruler that allowed his brother Antonio to seize power in Milan. So we begin to ask, what does make an ideal ruler? Someone connected to everyday affairs, or someone who remains remote? "For I am all the subjects that you have, which first was mine own king." This tells us something about the current mindset of the only native islander, Caliban. He is described as a monster and has been taught to understand language by Prospero. But as this quote shows, there is now a great deal of animosity between Prospero and Caliban. Caliban makes the point here that he was king of his own island until Prospero arrived and took his freedom. This raises a question. Has Prospero effectively colonised the island and imposed his beliefs and behaviours on Caliban? There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. The other person on the island is Prospero's daughter, Miranda, who is around 15 years old, and this is what she says when she first sees Ferdinand. He's the son of King Alonso and has also been shipwrecked on the island. Prospero has made sure that he's been separated from his fellow travellers so that he can meet Miranda, not that she knows that. We see here her belief that what people look like is how they are inside. Because he is handsome, like a temple or a holy place, he cannot possibly be bad or ill on the inside. "Be not afeard, the isle is full of noisy sounds and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not." This is part of one of the most lyrical passages in the play, describing the magical music that can be heard around the island. The lines are spoken by Caliban, and in giving such a beautiful speech to a supposed monster, we get the impression that Caliban can be empathetic, and he does respond to the sweet airs or music and the delight it offers. It also suggests that some of the work Prospero has done to educate Caliban might have had an effect. The previous quote also makes quote number 6, spoken by Prospero, slightly more difficult to understand. "A devil, a born devil, on whose nurture can never stick." Prospero here is suggesting that Caliban cannot be made good. He's born a devil, and that nurture, which is education and training, cannot improve his nature. Yet, as the previous quote suggested, there is something in his character that is empathetic. What we have here is someone described as irredeemable. But from what we've seen, we must doubt this conclusion. At this hour lies at my mercy all mine enemies. As the play has developed, Prospero has used his magical powers to orchestrate events. Miranda and Ferdinand met and fell in love, and their love is designed to unite Milan and Naples. Caliban had plotted to kill Prospero, but that is now under control. And Antonio, Prospero's brother, and King Alonso are now being brought to Prospero for a final confrontation. Prospero's word mercy is important here. Does he take revenge, or is he merciful towards his enemies? How beauteous mankind is, O brave new world that has such people in it. Late in the play, Miranda meets all of the people who have been shipwrecked on the island, and she is amazed by how magnificent they are. Yet we know that many of them are far from admirable. We've seen several of them actively scheming to kill other people for their own advantage. Yet Miranda still thinks that what she sees on the outside, their appearance, matches what is on the inside, their character. This is important because we'll shortly find out that Prospero plans for Miranda to become the new Queen of Naples, and her statement here throws some doubt on her ability to rule effectively. Will she be too trusting of others when we know people can lie and be manipulative? I'll be wise hereafter and seek for grace. These simple words suggest that Caliban realises his error in being so antagonistic toward Prospero and will seek grace, which can be interpreted as hoping that Prospero will forgive him or that he will look to please Prospero. Now, these words are often cut in productions that adopt a post-colonial interpretation of the play. They don't want Caliban to be seen as compliant with Prospero. The contrarian argument, of course, is that Prospero's methods have eventually created a situation where Caliban is learning a new set of rules by which he will live. Lastly, a few of Prospero's final words. Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have is mine own, which is most faint. Prospero abandons magic or charms and accepts that the only power he has lies in his person. And he admits that without magic, his power to influence others is faint or weak. As the play ends, we'll hear that Prospero is returning to rule Milan, and that his daughter will become Queen of Naples when Alonso dies. He seems to have won, but there remains the uneasy sense that he's not returning to a life he really wants. In addition, his brother Antonio, although offered forgiveness, is silent and does not accept it. This suggests that there is unresolved trouble still ahead. So do look out for some of these features as you read, watch and study the play, and I hope that this brief video has given you some new insights that will help you to get greater enjoyment from The Tempest. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and subscribe now so that you never miss any of my future posts.